trade continues to dominate the headlines, with President Trump threatening new or higher levies on countries and products, while some U.S. partners continue negotiating better deals. Swiss President Karin Keller-Sutter is in Washington, pushing to lower the 39% tariff imposed last week. Japan's chief negotiator is also traveling to the U.S. in pursuit of promised cuts to auto tariffs. Meanwhile, Trump says he'll announce levies on pharmaceutical and chip imports in the next week or so. He's also threatening increased tariffs on countries buying energy from Russia, including China, after saying he'll raise levies on India within 24 hours. Let's break it all down, bring in Bloomberg's digital politics editor, Romy Varghese, and our Asia-Pacific economy reporter, Swati Pandey. Romy, let's start with you. What is the main sticking point between the U.S. and China in tariff talks?
Yes, U.S. officials, even Trump, have voiced some optimism about the China talks, but a key sticking point is rare earths. These are crucial components that are used in everything from home appliances to missiles. And the United States want to see exports of these rare earths increase. And that is the key sticking point. And they want to have a commitment from China that they will ease their restrictions on these rare earths.
And of course, the the India story continues, right? Trump wants to penalize India when it comes to these Russian crude purchases. India says this is a structural element of their energy needs. How does this go down with sort of a strongman leader like Modi?
Yes, it was quite surprising the way it has unfolded quite publicly. These assaults have not gone down well in India. It looks like India will react but not retaliate. India would want to discuss and negotiate with Trump and with U.S., but at the same time, India has a strong relationship with Russia, and Indian officials have come out to say these words, in fact, that its ties with Moscow is time-tested. They have said that the criticism from Trump is unjustified and unreasonable. So India is holding its ground so far, but it will government would want to negotiate with Trump and come up with a solution.
Romy, when it comes to U.S. tariffs on chips and pharmaceuticals, these sectoral tariffs, can they hold up when it comes to some of the legal challenges that are ongoing?
Yes, experts are telling us that some of these tariffs that are going industry by industry, like semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, they actually have stronger legal ground than these country-by-country tariffs. And that's because Trump is using a part of the law that says that these tariffs are needed for national security grounds. So that is why you're seeing reaction from companies, from pharmaceuticals to semiconductors, companies that rely on semiconductors. They're very concerned about these tariffs because they seem to be more likely to go through than these country-by-country tariffs.
I guess the great focus is actually on drugs, given that those tariffs could rise to as much as 250%. I mean, how might this play out in the market?
Well, yes, Trump threw out some interesting numbers and also gave a pretty vague timeline. But what we can say, is fairly possible over the next week or so. It's that there will be a really hefty tariff. Might not be 250%, but a hefty tariff that pharmaceutical companies do not want to see. And the reason Trump says he wants to do this is because he wants to boost domestic production in the United States. Unfortunately, the current situation is that much of production is outside of the United States. I mean, nearly 90% of biotech companies, U.S. biotech companies, rely on imported components for about half their products. So ramping up domestic production, it would be a pretty difficult feat in the short term. And so we are going to see companies and then ultimately customers face these higher costs.